"Get out of here and wait outside. You have no reason to be here." That voice cut through the afternoon air like a knife, cold, contemptuous, and absolute. The attendant screamed, "I'll call security if you don't leave right now. People like you don't fly on flights like this." Olivia Bennett, the black woman, stood frozen. The silence that followed felt as though it swallowed the entire airport. Rain began to patter across the runway at Westchester County Airport, and in that moment, a female billionaire found herself face to face with an employee who had no idea she was shouting at the owner of the whole company. That afternoon, the sky over Westchester was a blanket of leaden clouds. Olivia Bennett stepped out of her glossy black Mercedes, fresh from sealing a billion-dollar deal in London. All she wanted was the peace of the premium lounge before boarding her private flight home. But the instant Olivia approached the first-class lounge door, Jason Miller, the lounge manager, spoke up with thinly veiled doubt. "I'm sorry, ma'am. This lounge is for first-class passengers only. Please present your boarding pass and membership card." Olivia raised an eyebrow at his challenging tone. Not wanting to argue, she kindly retrieved her platinum card and boarding pass and handed them to him. Jason took them, frowned, and held them up to the light as if checking for forgeries. "These look unusual. I've never seen cards like this before. Are you sure you belong here?" "I assure you these are genuine." "Fine, but you'll have to wait out here while I verify," he said coldly, pointing toward the glass doors. "We need to protect our high-end customers' privacy." Olivia stepped outside without a word. Jason immediately turned to greet an elderly white man who had just arrived. "Good afternoon, Mr. Patterson. Please come right in." The man was ushered inside without so much as an ID. Check. Outside, Olivia watched, her chest tightening. Now it was raining hard, soaking her luxury coat. One by one, wealthy white passengers strolled past her unchallenged, while Olivia waited, treated like an intruder at her own lounge. After 25 long minutes, Jason finally reappeared. "All right, I'll let you in because of the downpour, but we'll be keeping a close eye on you." She stepped into the lounge, drenched and disheveled, but her gaze was unshakable. Today, she resolved she would let their true colors show before she personally overhauled the toxic culture that ran through her company. The moment Olivia crossed the threshold, Jason followed her every step with a wary gaze. Leaning toward the attendant beside him, he whispered loud enough for Olivia to hear. "Keep an eye on that woman." Silently, Olivia settled into a plush leather chair in the corner, observing calmly. No one here knew that she was the owner of this airline empire, the very person responsible for paying their salaries. Jason returned to his desk. He believed wholeheartedly that he'd done the right thing. In his experience, all real VIPs shared the same profile. Middle-aged white men in tailored suits. A lone black woman seated here shattered every stereotype he'd ever held. As Olivia sat quietly, Jason kept glancing at her with suspicion. He checked his computer screen. The display read, "O. Bennett," with a tidy Owner-CEO tag beside it, but Jason either didn't register the title or refused to accept that he could be wrong. From across the lounge, young attendant Mia Collins watched Olivia with confusion and guilt. She had seen her forced to wait in the rain, while white passengers passed unchallenged. But in her junior position, she felt helpless and remained silent. Suddenly, Jason stood and strode toward her. "I want to make this perfectly clear. We'll be watching you closely. Any suspicious behavior, and I will call security immediately." "Do you do this to all guests?" Olivia asked evenly, "or only to those who look like me?" Jason froze for a moment, then replied coldly, "I do it for anyone I feel needs monitoring." In that instant, she felt the full force of the insult. In the hush of the lounge, Olivia made a crucial decision. She would not wield her authority to punish these individuals right away. Instead, she would wait patiently, allowing them to reveal their true selves. After several tense minutes, Olivia finally rose and walked through the wide glass doors toward the airport apron. The sky outside was still heavy and overcast. Not far off, Olivia's private jet, a gleaming white Gulfstream worth millions, waited on the tarmac. But as she approached the boarding stairs, Emma Roberts, the head attendant, stepped forward as if waiting to bar her way. Emma surveyed Olivia from head to toe with blatant judgment. Sorry, but this is a private jet. You're not allowed to board. Olivia felt as if ice water had been thrown in her face, yet she kept her composure. I know exactly where I am. I'm a passenger on this flight. Emma gave a mocking half-smile. Honestly, you don't look like the kind of passenger we normally serve. Are you sure you're not supposed to be over at the commercial terminal? The barbed words cut deep, yet she remained calm, extending her boarding pass. I suggest you verify my information thoroughly. Emma didn't even glance at the paper. Instead, she sneered with condescension. Do you know how much it costs to fly on this jet? A trip like this doesn't go for less than $75,000. I don't think that's a price most people, especially someone who looks like you, can afford. Her words drew the attention of nearby ground staff. Captain Richard Davis, in the cockpit just yards away, noticed the commotion but chose to turn his back. Emma raised her voice. Security! We have an unauthorized person attempting to board a private aircraft. At Emma's call, Jason Miller rushed over. You need to leave immediately, ma'am. This area is restricted. I am an eligible passenger, Olivia replied evenly. Please check the passenger manifest. But Emma had reached her limit. I don't need to check anything else. I've seen all kinds of people try to sneak onto this jet, and believe me, I know who our real customers are. Unfortunately, you're not one of them. The apron fell silent. Olivia didn't flinch. Are you absolutely certain? She asked softly. I'm 100% certain, Emma shot back, brimming with contempt. With steady hands, Olivia pulled out her phone. Lauren, connect me to Ethan and the executive team immediately. We have a serious situation at Westchester Airport that needs urgent attention. Her icy, commanding tone made Emma and Jason freeze for a heartbeat. But by then, it was too late to turn back. The moment Olivia's voice rang out over the phone, the airport seemed to grow dense and still. Lauren, connect me to Ethan and the full board of directors right now, Olivia said calmly. I need an emergency meeting immediately. Hearing the name Ethan, known company-wide as the COO, Emma visibly jolted, but she quickly forced herself to believe Olivia was merely performing drama. Call whoever you like, Jason scoffed, but don't count on anyone buying your little CEO routine. Seconds later, Ethan Bennett's voice crackled through the line. Olivia, it's Ethan. What's this emergency about? Olivia looked Emma and Jason dead in the eye. I'm being blocked from boarding my own private jet by our own employees at Westchester. They're telling me I'm unqualified to fly on my own plane. I am Olivia Bennett, CEO of Bennett Aviation, and this is completely unacceptable. Each word landed like a hammer blow. Emma felt a jolt run down her spine and glanced at Jason for backup, only to see his confident facade beginning to crumble. Still, Emma's pride overpowered her fear. Jason, did you hear that? Now she's claiming to be the CEO. Maybe next she'll announce herself President of the United States. Jason doubled down. Exactly, Emma. She's so desperate she's impersonating our leadership. Despite their attempts at composure, doubt flickered in their eyes. Understood, Olivia, Ethan said through the phone. I'll handle this right away. She ended the call and turned back to Emma and Jason with a steely glare. Emma Roberts, Jason Miller, I suggest you both consider very carefully the words you just spat, because every insult you lobbed at me today will be used as evidence against you. Emma tried to suppress rising panic. You're trying to threaten us? We were only doing our job, protecting the company's real passengers. Olivia studied them one last time, disappointment and cold resolve etched in her expression. I gave you one final chance to recognize your mistake. From now on, you will be fully accountable for every action you take. As Olivia stood there, calm yet commanding, Captain Richard Davis and First Officer Tyler Evans stepped out of the jet, their faces etched with skepticism. Davis had been with Bennett Aviation long enough to recognize true authority when he saw it. Tyler Evans leaned in and murmured, Captain, something's not right here. Lucas Parker, the ground supervisor watching from a distance, finally stepped forward. Emma, Jason, I really think we ought to recheck her paperwork. We could be making a serious mistake. Emma whirled on Lucas, her eyes flashing. Lucas, I don't need you telling me how to do my job. If you don't want to get dragged into this, step back. Jason crossed his arms smugly. You heard her, Lucas. Don't stir up trouble for yourself. Lucas reluctantly retreated, regret flickering in his eyes. Captain Davis stepped toward Emma, striving for professionalism. Emma, at least let's double-check. Take the passenger manifest one more time. Emma glared at him. If you don't have anything else to do, get back to the cockpit. I take full responsibility. Davis stood stunned. As an experienced pilot, he knew that silence in the face of injustice makes you complicit, yet fear froze him in place. Meanwhile, Emma and Jason grew more emboldened. Emma turned back to Olivia with a challenging smirk. See, nobody here buys your little act. Olivia remained silent, her eyes brimming with disappointed resolve. The rain continued to lash down mercilessly. Olivia slowly retrieved her phone once more. Ryan Hughes, I need you to immediately secure and pull every security camera recording from Westchester Airport over the past hour. We have a serious racial discrimination incident. Understood, Miss Bennett. I'll dispatch our security team immediately. Emma swallowed hard, fear rising for the first time. Jason felt his hand begin to tremble. Amid this charged atmosphere, Mia Collins stepped forward, guilt and bravery warring on her face. Miss Bennett, I want to sincerely apologize for everything you've been through. This was a grievous mistake. Olivia's eyes softened. Thank you. Your courage means a great deal to me. Emma's face twisted with anger. Mia, you have no authority here. Go back to your post before I take action against you. But Olivia stepped in, placing a hand on Mia's shoulder and fixing Emma with absolute authority. Emma, it's you who should worry about the serious measures I'm about to take. Emma froze as though doused with ice water. Jason involuntarily stepped back. Captain Davis quietly pulled a tablet from his jacket, unable to bear his doubts any longer. He tapped the screen to revisit the flight manifest. His eyes immediately locked on the first entry. O. Bennett owner, CEO. For a moment, all sounds faded away, replaced by the thunderous pounding of his own heart. My God, Davis whispered. Tyler Evans glanced at the tablet. His face went pale. She really is the owner of Bennett Aviation. That whisper spread to the ground crew nearby. They froze in place, eyes full of fear and remorse. Emma, still not grasping the revelation, snapped back. This circus ends right now. Emma, Captain Davis interrupted sharply, you need to see this immediately. Emma frowned and turned to Davis, only to freeze when she read the screen. Oh, Bennett, CEO, she stammered, her voice a frightened whisper. Jason went ashen like he'd been punched in the gut. All his confidence collapsed into terror. The other staffers hung their heads, avoiding Olivia's gaze. They understood now that their silence had helped create this painful moment. As Emma and Jason stood frozen in shock, the wail of sirens erupted outside. Through the sheets of rain, a convoy of black SUVs screeched up to the entrance. Ethan Bennett stepped out, flanked by attorneys, HR executives, and security. Ethan's expression was ice, his gaze blade-sharp with fury. Scanning the room, his eyes locked on Olivia, still standing there, outwardly composed but clearly wounded inside. Olivia, are you okay? Ethan strode quickly to her side. I'm okay, Ethan, but I don't think our company is. Ethan swept a cold glance over the terrified faces. What on earth happened here? Why was my sister, the CEO of Bennett Aviation, treated like a criminal on her own plane? Emma's throat tightened. She managed a stammered response. Mr. Bennett, we were just doing our duty to protect... Protect whom? Ethan's interruption was sharp. Protect genuine passengers or protect your own blind prejudice? Emma's face drained of color. Jason stepped back, lips trembling. You thought a black woman couldn't possibly own Bennett Aviation? Ethan pressed on. Nobody dared meet his gaze. Ethan motioned to his security detail to start preserving all surveillance footage. I want a full briefing on every detail of this incident, Ethan declared. Yai, I will all explain exactly why you treated Olivia this way. Captain Davis approached with an ashamed bow. Mr. Bennett, I verified the manifest. This was entirely our error. Ethan nodded curtly. I appreciate your honesty, Captain Davis, but it doesn't excuse your initial silence. Turning to his sister, Ethan's tone softened. You're not alone anymore, Olivia. We will do everything to make sure no one else ever endures this. I want everyone on that plane immediately, Olivia said, her voice cold yet composed. We're going to sort this out right here. Emma and Jason froze, knowing there was nothing left but to obey. Once the door closed, Olivia strode to the head of the conference table, her aura of authority silencing everyone instantly. I want to hear directly from both of you why you treated me, the CEO of this company, as an intruder. Emma swallowed hard. Miss Bennett, I was only following security procedure. Does your security procedure include judging passengers by skin color? Olivia cut her off. Emma fell silent, cheeks burning with mortification. Jason offered a feeble explanation. I just wanted to support Emma. Not serious? Olivia echoed. You don't think publicly humiliating the CEO, denying her the use of her own property, is serious? The cabin sank into deathly quiet. Olivia turned to Captain Davis. I have no choice but to suspend you pending investigation. Davis nodded wordlessly, accepting the penalty. Finally, Olivia faced Emma and Jason. Emma Roberts and Jason Miller, effective immediately, you are both terminated from Bennett Aviation. I will not tolerate any form of discrimination in my company. Emma and Jason trembled, faces ashen, utterly drained. Everyone here, remember this day, Olivia continued. This isn't just about two individuals, it's about how prejudice can destroy an entire system if left unchecked. Ethan placed a hand on Olivia's shoulder. From this moment forward, we will root out the culture that allowed such prejudice to flourish. When the first rays of sunshine peered through the windows, Olivia gazed out and felt as though a new chapter had begun. Immediately after, she and Ethan called a company-wide gathering. From this day forward, Olivia declared, Bennett Aviation will not only be a leader in service, but also a beacon of ethics and equality. She unveiled a comprehensive cultural overhaul plan, mandatory training on combating racism and unconscious bias, an anonymous hotline for discrimination complaints, an AI system to detect prejudice language in communications. Amid this reform, Olivia also rewarded courage. Mia Collins, who had bravely apologized, was promoted to Senior Customer Service Manager. Lucas Parker, who had suggested double-checking credentials, was named Regional Director. From today on, Bennett Aviation will never be judged solely by revenue, Olivia concluded. We will be judged by how we treat one another, by how we fight injustice. Thunderous applause filled the cabin, marking a true cultural revolution at Bennett Aviation. Olivia's decisions quickly ignited a movement that reached far beyond the company walls. The story swept national headlines and became a Harvard Business School case study. She was invited to testify at a congressional hearing on corporate responsibility. No company can truly take pride in its profits if those profits were built on injustice, she told lawmakers. 6 months later, Emma Roberts publicly issued a letter of apology, taking full responsibility. Sensing genuine remorse, Olivia invited her to join the new anti-bias training program as someone sharing her experience to help colleagues understand the cost of prejudice. Over time, Emma became a powerful example of confronting one's errors, proving that positive change is never too late. Finally, at her father William Bennett's 70th birthday, William rose with eyes shining with pride. Olivia, my daughter, you have taught all of us that power without purpose is mere privilege, and that power with purpose can truly change the world. Olivia looked at her father with tears of pride, knowing that every hardship had been transformed into invaluable lessons and a living legacy. What began as a painful episode became the cornerstone of an inspiring legacy, sparking courage, empathy, and social responsibility in business. Olivia Bennett's name is remembered not only for professional success, but for bravery in confronting injustice, becoming a shining emblem of transformative power. Olivia's story is a powerful reminder that real strength lies in the courage to fight injustice and bias. By turning her pain into the catalyst for cultural shift, she inspired thousands to recognize and champion fairness.